And I believe I am now joined with Solo Dolan, all the way from Florida, right here, right now. Hello, Solo.
Hi, how are you, Kenny? How you doing?
I'm doing real good. First and foremost, can you hear me okay?
I can, actually. It's pretty awesome.
Well, you've had it a lot better than the other callers I've had. I've had, unfortunately, technical difficulties over the last 90 minutes or so. So I just wanted to make sure.
Well, who likes technology anyway, right?
Yeah. Technology just doesn't work when you want it to. Let's just put it that way. But
It's all a rib.
yes, I think people gonna be asking for refunds if this trend continues. I'm just saying. Um, so obviously I first heard of you through Ohio Valley Wrestling. You used to work there. You now reside in Florida. But let's go back to where it all started. How did your wrestling career got started?
Ooh, well, I was a childhood fan. I was actually like one of those little tykes who like begged their mom to have the Hogan shirt and like, rip it and Hulk up and just wait and collect cards, and I just loved it. And nobody in my family was into it. So I was kind of the estranged one that way. Just a couple of cousins who would always like try new moves on me. But I did the education route. And then one day I was just like talking with someone that was like really important and pivotal point in my life, and was like, well, why not? Why don't you do it if you love it so much? Well, I don't know. I never thought about it. And I asked my grandfather, who was pretty much the most important dude, who's motivated me the whole time. I said, Grandpa, you've done all these things, done all these crazy, crazy things all over the place, and he's from Mexico. And I said, well, why'd you do it? And he just said, why not? And I was like, all right, cool. So I packed up. I was living in Boston, moved down to Louisville, Kentucky, and I started training there, and I'm continuing training now in Florida.
Did you started working for other companies and shows before OVW?
No, actually, I was under the knowledge that they were working at the time with WWE, and I was like, all right, where's the best school? And went right in there, and I was like, all right, how do I do this? Show me how. And so they started me off in there. I did beginners there, and I worked with Rip a little bit in the advanced class, and got experience as a manager and all sorts of things. So I met a lot of good people as well. So
And do you remember the first wrestling match that you ever had?
the I would say I had loads of fun managing, let me say, because that was pretty much my first experience getting out there to the ring and doing stuff. And Sensational Sherry is like my favorite in the world. So I was like, oh my God, I get to do that stuff. So my first match, I remember I walked in and they were like, you got your stuff? And I was like, yes, I have stuff. And they were like, cool, Jessie Bell's out there. We're gonna be working with her. And I was like, oh my gosh, Jessie, that's so awesome. So I was super nervous, but it was one of those things where once I hit the curtain, it was like awesome, like just powerful, awesome. I knew I wanted to keep doing it.
What did you like the most of being a manager slash valet? Regardless if you was a heel or a baby face, what did you like the most of being a manager?
Let's see. In As a heel, I love being able to just be free with things and cheat and get in there and be like, no, you aren't the good guy to win, but that's just not going to happen under my control. And then to hear the crowd just be like totally infuriated that you would have anything to do with such a good match or something, or, get your hands dirty like that. I love that. And at the time I was using like a big boot. And so nowadays I use a weight as well, or I steal like I handcuffs and throw them in the ring. Um, but as a face, I like being able to connect and knowing the crowd and the audience gets behind you, and knowing that you guys are just going in there and showing off your good stuff and really playing to the crowd. That's the fun part.
What type of role do you like being the most? Do you like being the baby face or do you like being the heel?
I like being a heel, definitely. I am getting feedback on myself, so hopefully I won't stutter step.
Once again, technology, I tell you. It just must not like me this evening. I don't know why, but anyway, um, you worked for OVW for quite a while. You had matches. You had worked with the likes of the Blossom Twins and Josie and uh, a couple of ladies to name. Jessie Bell as well, who I think you worked with her when she lived in Florida at the time. What was it like just working with those ladies?
I would say it, overall it was really fun. You're always going to learn, and those that come before you will always teach you little things and ways to continue and be yourself, and it's like ice cream. So you get all styles of wrestling. Getting a bit of that British background was really fun. As you know, I do train with Andreas Rossi and work with him a bit, so I do get that kind of British-esque thing, which is awesome. And with Jesse, it was just great experience, uh, fun matches, and learning new things all the time. So just eyes wide open and ears as well, I suppose.
And obviously, OVW fans, the Solo Dolphin fans at OVW want to know what are some of the companies that you work for now that you reside in Florida?
Oh, hello.
My question was, um, what are some of the companies that you have worked for since your days at OVW?
Well, actually, the big company I'm going to go for is called Definitive Wrestling International. Uh, since I left OVW, took time, really invested in my body, really working towards that chiseled physique as every diva is always striving for. Frank Reyes, who, as you know, has worked with the Malenkos um, and WCW and things like that. And I've gained, I would say, triple the experience just moving down here and getting to work with Frankie and Tony and Ray Ayala as well. And they've just brought me strides. My confidence increased, and I definitely would say it was like the biggest thing for me, DWI, and that's out of Riverview, Florida.
You know, obviously, a lot of wrestlers, entertainers, they have meanings behind their stage names. What made you name yourself Solo Darling? Was it a company's idea or was that an idea of your own?
Actually, solo is given to me by one of my best girls that I met freshman year of college. And she said, well, what's your first name? No, we're not going to use that. I said, what's your last name? And I said, well, that's really long. She's like, I'm not going to pronounce that. She says, you know what? You're solo, and we're going to go get Wendy's. And she's been my best friend ever since. I love old movies. I love grindhouse movies. I'm a punk and a grunge lover at heart. So anything in that range and style totally appeals to me. And there's actually a burlesque entertainer kind of movie actress from, I believe, the 20s, Christina Darling. And I just love that pinup style. So I said, well, I always used to get called like Solo Baby or Solo Love, come here. And then I was like, well, why don't we just go with Solo Darling and I'll take on this kind of character. But I roll with it.
Solo Darling. As I think about it, it definitely has a nice ring to it. It's an intriguing name, Solo Darling. I mean, Solo, you doing your own thing, and Darling, as it pertains to the looks and the physique. and your wrestling ability, um, people should not take you for granted. I mean, Solo Dallin, she can hang with anybody that steps inside that ring. So it that's a good choice for your name, Solo Dallin. It's a nice ring to it.
Thank you.
I also hear that you got a chance to work for a company called Magnificent Ladies Wrestling, which is like a custom wrestling website. What was that experience like?
Yes, I did. I enjoyed it. I wish I had been closer, just because traveling, as you know, is so crazy these days. But I met a lot of great ladies there, great guys that work at the company. Everybody's really friendly. It was a good day of hard work and good product. And for me, that's a win-win. We can give the crowd what they want, the viewers, as you would say, or customers, and do some really fun matches, learn some new tricks to the trade, and just meet new people. I had a blast.
And obviously, people can purchase your matches over at magnificentladieswrestling.com. You had like maybe 4, 5, 6 matches there as of this moment. So yeah, go to magnificentladieswrestling.com, click on wrestlers, click on Solo Dallin, and check out the matches. You can check out sneak peeks of it, and you can purchase the matches. So Solo in action. Um, so who do you consider as influences in your wrestling career?
Just anybody and everybody?
Anyone, male, female, whoever got your attention, obviously.
I would say the biggest growth I've had and the farthest I've come has been down here. Um, I don't know if you're familiar with, all the people I've kind of mentioned, but I know Frank Reyes was one of the first people after just meeting me, and I had a match that wasn't necessarily my best. And I was just so disappointed. You know that feeling when you're like, I just want to do an A+, and I didn't do it today, and then I feel crazy about it. And he looked at me, and he was just like, all right, we're going to try again, and invested in me. And, Andy Baker, or also his stage name is Andreas Rossi, has always had that confidence and belief in me and to push forward, and he knows I can do it, and he really is the backbone for me to get to the next level. And then he was the one that was like, hey, have you seen, Definitive Wrestling International? Have you seen Frank Reyes? Have you seen his work? I was like, oh, my God, it's Frank Reyes. But for him to stop and go, let's do this, come to the school and let's work on stuff, has made me jump completely on the next level, on the next platform, and makes me want to even go further and really get to that perfection and hone in on everything and take time in my character. And I want to also say that Ray Ayala and Tony Devlin, who work at the school, just take time. I've had the pleasure of working with Jumbo Beretta as well, and it was just wonderful. It was just such a great practice and such a great, atmosphere is what I want to say for that, because it's like, all right, let's do this again. All right, what do you want to do? Let's learn something. Let's put it together. Let's make a story, and let's do it the right way. And then what happens when you're in this instant, and just real that kind of Socratic method of learning the craft. And those people have given me insight that I wouldn't trade for anything. Definitely this school has been really important.
If you want to follow Solo in her journey, you can follow her on Twitter at Solo Dallin. She's joining me right here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. What would your advice be to anyone out there that wants to be a professional wrestler?
Definitely, it's going to be to follow your dreams. follow your heart in that regard, where if you have that passion and that willingness, it's not easy. And knowing all of these wonderful independent wrestlers and people who take it to the WWE and TNA, knowing how hard they worked for it, if you have that drive, definitely go all in, but go all in, go 100%, everything about you, and just really find that school. Like, obviously, if you're in Tampa, find me, find Frank Ray's Definitive Wrestling International in Riverview, and really go there and try that. And then, obviously, if you're in another state, definitely contact and see where you can go to learn that craft. But really learn it and be safe, I would say, is another thing. Go all in, use your heart, use your head, and be safe.
Absolutely. So, who do you consider as, fellow wrestlers that you like being in the ring against? Who's like your favorite wrestlers to work with?
My favorite wrestlers. I guess if we get to do mixed tag, there's plenty that I have fun tagging in and out with, because you learn from some of the vets that are the guys that have done it for a long time. One of my favorite matches, well, I have two. One of my favorite matches was just recently. It was for the DWI Women's Championship, which I am currently holding this title. It was against Ferrari, and that was just fun. And we definitely were able to work with each other well, and the more that we work together, the funner it gets, in my opinion. Really get a hang of each other and our styles really quickly, so I have a good time with that, and that's very current to me, so I like that. And with the guys, I know if we did a mixed tag with, there's an independent wrestler, Jerome, in our company, and obviously Andreas Rossi. That is really fun. I would love to do a mixed tag where I can work with Tony Devlin, because he's like a high flyer and he's really good. So he'd probably just whoop me in a circle and then send me packing, but it'd be awesome. It'd definitely be a lot of fun. So there's definitely a handful. There's some good people out there.
Yeah,
and I went to England actually last year, and I had the privilege of working for Runcorn Wrestling Academy, and it's just outside of Liverpool in Runcorn, and I got to wrestle their women's champion, who was with Tiger Lily at the time, and that was just great. And she's a great babyface. She learns a lot from that school. It's run by Andy Baker, and loads of people there were very friendly, very great atmosphere at Runcorn Wrestling Academy. So if you're in England, you can also hit me up, as I know a great place to go. She was so much fun to work with, and I enjoyed that match too. That one's on YouTube, as well as me and Ferrari. So those were great.
I definitely got to say that the high flyers can definitely be a handful. You just got to keep up with them, whether you're teaming up with them or you're going against them. It's just something you gotta pick up the pace, I suppose. And I'm definitely familiar with Andrea Rossi, another OVW talent. He was a former OVW heavyweight champion, and he's very talented as well. So big ups to Andrea. I'm a diehard OVW fan. I live in Kentucky for probably 1/3 of my life, and most of it I've gotten a chance to watch OVW, and them being considered as the Harvard of professional wrestling, with all the talent that they have helped mold and become bigger stars. They have a great rap sheet as far as putting talent together. So OVW is definitely where it's at. It's definitely where, if you really want to take that next step, it's definitely the way to go. And I'm very fortunate that I got a chance to see you in OVW and doing what you do. You're a very talented wrestler, and I definitely wish you many more success, and congrats on winning that championship, by the way.
No, thank you.
And my last question is, who are some wrestlers out there, male or female per se, that you haven't had a chance to work with but would like to work with someday?
Mm. Um, let's see. Someone I knew that was a beginner when I was leaving. Her name's Kayla Marie. I believe you know her. She goes by like Killer Kayla, and she's currently at OVW. But hopefully she'll be able to come down and visit, and I'll get to work with her. I just know that she's got that passion and that heart to really drive forward. So I hope that everything goes well for her and that she can really, really get it. Because her and I have like the team flat thing going, and I really care about her. She's pretty awesome. And if we're just saying people I would love to work with, I would love to work with Tara and Mickey James and Tess Macker. Wonderful, wonderful. Like, those girls are great. Beth Phoenix is amazing, as well as like the Diva roster, just in general at WWE. I know that she's leaving or isn't there or whatnot. But hopefully one day I'll get to. Trish Stratus, if she ever came back, I would love to have a match with her. She's someone I looked up to growing up and always strive to be better by seeing her. I've seen loads of great matches with Eve and Layla. So just awesome ladies that if I ever had the privilege someday to work with, I would definitely appreciate it and take loads of pictures and stuff.
Oh, I'm definitely familiar with Kayla Marie. She's definitely going places. I've met her a couple of times, and I do read the Team Platt tweets that y'all tweet towards each other. That's got tag team written all over it if y'all ever get that chance. But she's definitely a cool chick, and I truly believe that she's gonna go places. I truly believe that, and I told her that as well. So, um, and Beth Phoenix, somehow she's still working for the company. She's just not getting a lot of opportunities, obviously. But yeah, there's been a lot of rumors circulating whether she's gonna be there or not. But at the moment, she still works for the company. She's just not there or not. Maybe
Mm.
WWE is mysteriously got something in store for her, but it's just a matter of waiting and see. Well, Miss Darling, it was great talking to you, and I gotta say, you're the one interview I went through with slight technical issues, but not a whole bunch of technical issues. So, uh, you went through mostly technically free. So, thank you, thank you so much for joining me, and everyone follow her on Twitter at Solo Darling,
Yep.
SoloDarling, all put together, no underscores in between. Thank you for your time. Best of
Thank you so much
success.
for having me.
Best of success goes out to you and Andrea going forward. And as a proud OVW fan, we miss you, and we hope y'all doing well at Florida.
No, thank you so much. Have a great night. I wish you luck on the interviews that you're going to have. And
Uh,
I look forward to talking to you again.
Most definitely. We'll talk on Twitter too.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, bye bye. That's my last interview guest of the evening, Solo Darling, former OVW wrestler.